Hi, Dale Titus here with today's 2-minute bass lesson. I received an email question about available mutes for when you two-hand tap. I should give a little history. Back when tapping on guitars and basses first became really popular, people would make these expensive mechanical mutes. They were these apparatus that would attach to the headstock and then flip down, and they would act kind of as a soft capo. And you could play and tap, and strings that would resonate would be muted by these contraptions. There were two problems with them. One is they were pretty expensive, and two is you permanently had to alter your guitar or bass. You had to drill holes into it, and we weren't all excited to do that. But I was fortunate to meet and play with a guitarist named Roy Ashen. And Roy Ashen was way ahead of his time. He actually started using little terry cloth hair ties. And it made a lot of sense. They were inexpensive, you could work them over the headstock. They just muted the strings enough that you could still, if you had to get an open string out, it would sound. It'd be a little muted, but it'd sound. But then when you tapped, it would clean up the notes, and there'd be no sympathetic vibrations. So we were excited when I kind of saw Roy doing this, because it was like 20 cents and you could get a package of these. Now with inflation it's probably $1, but it is a great way. If you're tapping, it doesn't allow any of the other strings I'm not working on to vibrate. If they vibrate, it's really quiet. So when I'm doing really like a percussive, the E string isn't really vibrating sympathetically, which is kind of cool. And if you want more muting, and this is kind of the beauty of the simple aspect of this device, if you want more muting, you just pull it higher up on the fingerboard and it would hold the strings down tighter. And if you want less muting, you just get it right over the edge of the nut. So, it's a simple 2-minute bass lesson today, but if you're into developing tapping, then you may want to look at it. Now, you got to get them big enough, because you can't get the really tiny ones. You got to get them big enough that you can kind of work them over the headstock. And don't try to pull it and just pull it over like a sock. You literally pull it over one tuning key, pull it over the other tuning key, and kind of work it up so it's not stretched out too much that it's ineffective. I also want to mention another aspect that makes this good is if you guys have been tapping not amplified, like in front of the TV and you're practicing tapping, you notice it sounds kind of weird, it sounds kind of bad. And that reason is that when you're tapping, if I'm tapping a note here, I'm hearing, if it's unamplified, I'm hearing this side of the string and this side of the string. And unless you're doing an octave where it's equal distant on both sides, you're going to have two different notes. And sometimes they don't blend well. So this kind of is the answer to that. If you pull it up, you're going to mute below the tapped note. And so you'll only hear this side of the string clearly, and it'll make it sound better for you. So there's your 25-cent 2-minute bass lesson. If you're interested in working on tapping, go ahead and get a couple of these terry cloth hair ties. I don't use them as much anymore. My gigs, if I do tap, it's a very short little thing. I don't really need them. But if I do get called in to do any kind of recording where I'm tapping, I always have one on. It just helps. So there you have it, a funny little, simple little thing, but you know what? It works, and it doesn't alter your instrument, and hey, it's kind of easy. So there you go. Go get yourself a little terry cloth hair tie and start tapping like madmen. Thanks for stopping by. If you have any other requests for information, or you want me to cover a topic again, please just email me at dalet@danabygoods.com. Thanks a lot.